I recently was on Facebook looking for some old classmates, and I inquired about one girl, and one lady, interestingly enough, commented back that she didn't know who the girl was, the woman who was that I was talking about, and I proceeded to go through and kind of explain the girl to her, and she couldn't remember her. Now, when we were in school, Facebook wasn't really that big of a thing. I think towards senior year, MySpace was maybe coming out. I don't remember. It wasn't like you got to sit on the computer for hours and chat with people. You had to. Well, in school we had computer time, and the computers were slow. They were not anything like we have now, where you can sit here and look up a website, and 5 seconds later it's on your screen. It was more like 30 seconds to a minute, even sometimes longer, just to go from one page to another. And even then, the quality of the stuff that you were seeing wasn't really always that great. It was more of like when computers first started out and they were getting big and everything, they had more beta versions of stuff. Like it just looked kind of hokey, some of the stuff. I saw on Facebook today, well, actually yesterday, and I've seen it on there before, talking about the old little white computers that you played Oregon Trail on. And I remember being a child and playing on a computer when I was in elementary school, and basically my computer teacher, or maybe my math teacher, taught us how to write code, or you typed in a certain couple of codes and you can make this little turtle move across the screen. You could make it do stuff just by typing certain things in, which was interesting. Now there's a lot of binary codes and stuff that goes on in the background, and I don't understand any of it. And I will doubt, never, you know, never rule anything out, but I doubt I will ever be a computer programmer. I doubt I will ever really write a bunch of stuff for computers. I'm just lucky I learned how to use a computer. Um, but when I was inquiring about one person, I remembered the name of somebody else, and I looked them up. And it's always the ones when you're in school. This particular kid, I had a crush on him when I was in high school. I was living in Germany. I was a freshman, and he kept going, pretending like he wanted to be, my boyfriend, but then he wanted to be this other girl's boyfriend, but then he wanted to be my boyfriend, then he wanted to be her boyfriend, and it was like back and forth. And sometimes I've learned that when you have a lot of those back and forth relationships, it teaches you something in life. Um, Maybe that's the type of person you're going to be throughout life, meaning you'll be with the person, maybe you'll date and then you'll break up, then you'll date, then you'll break up, then you'll get engaged, then you'll break up, then you'll date, then you'll break up, then you'll get engaged, and then eventually you might get married in between breakups, and then you might get remarried, and then you break up, and then you might get remarried, and it's this whole back and forth. And in my opinion, the more you go back and forth, yes, it gives you time to work on yourself in between. If you feel like you might be the problem, to go get help and then come back to the relationship. That's what they kind of do for rehabs and stuff. But it really does. It You're supposed to, when you take wedding vows, it's for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live, till death do you part. It's not till you get tired of me, I'm going to break up with you, then I'll get back together with you, then I'll break up with you, then I'll divorce you, then I'll this whole cycle. In my opinion, if something's really meant to work out with somebody, there's not going to be a lot of back and forth, because they'll realize they cannot live without you, or you'll realize you cannot live without them. Now, granted, you can live without them, but you're not happy, and you're not feeling like yourself, and you're not fulfilled living without them. But it's your own personal, what you feel and what you need. So, this particular individual, got into trouble with the law off and on, um, didn't do much better once he got back to the States. And by far, I'm not better than anybody. I'm not, saying my life is so much greater. But when I looked at where this person is now, it's a cycle of events that just keep happening over and over and over again. And it makes me glad that it wasn't a serious relationship that I was even interested in. It was just an infatuation that, basically it was there, then it wasn't, and that was it. So, young people out there, if any of you are watching my videos, if you think you love somebody so much and then they break up with you and you can't imagine your life without this person and you consider doing something to end your life, don't. You know, I think the only time worth dying for somebody is when you're trying to save somebody else. You know, I would lay my life down for Jamie, any of my family and friends. I would probably lay my life down for a stranger if it came to it, because I always want better for the people around me. And it's not that I don't value myself, because I really do, but it's that my love for people is greater. And, it's important to, it's like standing for something. It's important to have aspirations and goals. I don't know if the aspirations and goals for this particular guy are high or were lived up to, or if that's what he wanted to become. But I wish him all the best of luck. And it's not a what might have been. It's a I'm happy now, and I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. So um, sometimes when you have those nostalgic moments and you want to look somebody up from your past, it's interesting to see that people who think they're going to be so great wind up being mediocre and happy. And sometimes that's the happiest people in the world that you'll find. The ones that have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 figures, I don't know if it goes that high, make so much money. Yeah, they own stuff, but it's stuff. They can't take it with them when they die. It's like you can enjoy it while you're on this earth, but it's humbling, really, to see how people who don't have a lot live compared to people who have a lot and take their stuff for granted. Alright, I know this is a bunch of ramblings back and forth, but it was just what's going on in my head. I'm going to go back to my show because I can't sleep. And in case you're wondering, I am awake. Well, you're not wondering that if you're hearing me talk to you, but yeah, I watched some of the Big Brother feeds tonight and sort of just kind of vegged out and didn't really do much. Jamie was kind of tired tonight, and I think part of it is he might have stayed up a little too late last night, but it's he's an adult, and it's my job to not mother him, but to you know get him to get rest at night, because sometimes I feel bad that he doesn't get a lot of sleep, and he claims he's always tired no matter if he sleeps or not. But his job can be stressful, and he just hit his 4-year mark at his job. That's the longest time he's been at any job, and I am so proud of him. I love him so much. He does so much for me, for us. He's a wonderful man, and I hope his coworkers realize how much he's valued and let him know. Because sometimes it just takes a little bit of a compliment or a little bit to make the person feel good. So, anyways, like, fave, share, subscribe. Megan Shepherd 81, Megan Shepherd 81 at gmail.com. Good night.